everybody out there in YouTube land. Jake of the OneManBand is back again, and welcome once again back to RWBY Feedback. I'm giving feedback on the comments that you guys sent to me for Volume 3, Episode 5 of RWBY. So let's get started looking at them. I still think RWBY is the Guardian because of the ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz. We have Oz, Ozpin, Scarecrow is Crow, Tin Woodman is Ironwood, and Good Witch of the North is Glenda. So there is a chance that the Dorothy is the Guardian. Two things note is Dorothy had a dog, Toto, and RWBY has Zwei, but I think the key is the ruby slippers. And yes, that is definitely something to think about. I mean, we do have the inspirations there. Ozpin is the Great Wizard of Oz, Crow is the Scarecrow, Glenda is Glenda Goodwitch, and Ironwood is, of course, the Tin Man. We do not know who the Cowardly Lion is yet, although I have made a few assumptions, theories. Maybe he was the White Fang leader before it was overthrown by the Militant One. Maybe he is the current White Fang leader. But he is really the only one of the Wizard of Oz cast that we have not seen yet. But talking about RWBY being the chosen one due to the ruby slippers, I think you have some ground to stand on there. I think that's a really good idea. You could also say that Pyrrha is a red herring. I'll leave now. You don't need to leave, that was a good joke, come back! If Neon is Neon Cat, would Blake be Grumpy Cat? Well, I mean, we do have this picture of Blake, so I guess you can make that connection yourself, I guess. When fighting Flint, always remember, bring your plugs or go deaf. The trumpet note changers are called valves. Alrighty, thank you. Now I know what they are called. Now I know that they are called valves, and hopefully I won't make that mistake again. This is a really long comment, so I'm just gonna give you the gist of it. The very beginning is stating that maybe Flint and Neon's, even though they do go to Atlas, they probably come from a middle or lower class families, so they probably don't have the strict militant mothers and fathers, or they don't have the parents that are like, you must look good all the time, like Winter and Weiss, because Winter and Weiss we know come from high echelon of classes. But we know Flint, his family owned a small dust shop, and Neon, well, we know that the Schnee Dust Company does use Faunus workers, so she could come from a working class family, so they may not just be as upper echelon as the rest of Atlas students. They're cool, but also this comment talks about how Weiss went out of her way to save one of her teammates, and that may cause trouble with her and her family because she sacrificed herself for somebody who was lesser than her, lesser on the class scale. And so the rest of the Weiss family may look upon that as being bad. But you know what? Weiss is a freaking awesome character, and she's rebelling against the system. So go Weiss! If Ironwood is the Tin Man, then who's the Scarecrow or Cowardly Lion? Well, I was talking about this earlier, how Crow was of course the Scarecrow, and the Cowardly Lion may have some sort of affiliation with the White Fang. That's what I'm kind of thinking of right now. But the Cowardly Lion is still the only one of the main cast of Wizard of Oz that we haven't really seen. Well, that and Dorothy. But Dorothy can either be RWBY or maybe Summer Rose. What do you guys think? Okay, so I'm a little late with this, believe it or not. We have seen that smile on Pyrrha before. In Volume 1, after Jean beats the Ursa and asks her to help him become a better fighter. As she's walking away, she turns to the camera and flashes a smile. That is true. She does flash a very similar smile in that sense. Dang it, Pyrrha! Why are you gotta be so smiley? Sending mixed messages. The end of the episode. I believe that RWBY is the Guardian because it would make sense as to why Ozpin let her in early. I do not think Pyrrha is the Guardian because, one, that ain't Pyrrha, that's our fave silent ice cream Neo in disguise, because Pyrrha, even though she does have the traits of the Guardian, she doesn't like the limelight. She doesn't want to be the center of attention. She wants to be treated normal, as shown in Dance Dance Infiltration from Volume 2. RWBY is the Guardian because you can see Ozpin was willing to bend the rules for RWBY during the mission, so they could see the abandoned city and help it during the team making his... He was mostly observing RWBY and Weiss. Dance, he was there talking to RWBY like a guardian, and as mentioned before, he bent the rules to let RWBY into Beacon 1 or 2 years early than she was supposed to, because he saw potential, which is why I think RWBY is the guardian Beacon needs. Long comment, but you do throw in a valid argument. Ozpin does indeed bend the rules a lot for Team RWBY and Ruby Rose in particular. And yes, it is true that Pyrrha doesn't exactly crave the limelight, but she doesn't reject it either. I mean, she does state that she wished that she could just be treated like a normal person, but I think that's what may make her guardian material. She wants to be treated like an everyday person, and she wants to connect with people on a personal level. That's better than somebody trying to be gaudier than they really are. Humility is very, very good and a very key aspect to what I think should be the Guardian. Here's something I'm disappointed you didn't mention. Oh, well, I didn't mention something, so let's see what's so disappointing about it. When Neo was picking on Yang, she made a tongue-in-cheek reference to Yang's bust size. Unless I'm mistaken, this is the first time Yang has ever been mentioned, Yang's bust has ever been mentioned in the series. When I first saw that, I was like, la 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 la. So, also, when Pyrrha appeared at the end, that was totally Neo in disguise. So you do agree with Neo. Okay, so, the thoughts that Neon was poking at Yang due to her bust size. Well, she did poke other aspects of her, like, she was like, where'd you get your hair extensions? And, I mean, she did kind of dwell on the bust size for a long time, but I think it's just that Neon, she went for the hair first, and Yang, she wasn't really bothered by that. But when she brought up Yang's bust size, Yang took offense in some way. You know, she was like, excuse me? What are you talking about? And that's why Neon kept coaxing her with that, because she knew that she could mess with Yang by mentioning stuff like that. So that's kind of why she brought it up. I mean, I know I didn't mention, like, oh, she made fun of her because of her bust size in the review. It's because I didn't want to feel like a lowlife in any way. It's just, Yang has a big bust, so let's just accept it, shall we? Am I the only one who has that sickening feeling that Summer Rose is still alive and that she's going to appear either in this volume or volume 4? No, not at all. I have that feeling. Even though Monty did state that Summer Rose is dead, I still hold out hope. But those are just the facts, my brother. Or sister. I don't know, Dragon Nebula's kind of gender neutral, so... if you look at when Cinder looks at Penny, it's an acronym, P-E-N-N-Y. So, P-E-N-N-Y. There's a reason why it's an acronym. It probably stands for something. Your suggestions down below in the comments, please? Still can't believe they named a character Flint Cole. What's next? Or what? Adam Pubert? How about the unstoppable beefy warrior named Edgar O'Cow? I would kill to see a character based off Edgar. That would be awesome. But if you're so, like, butthurt about there being a character called Flint Cole, I mean, I don't know. I can't help you with that, but I think it was a cool idea, and the character himself is pretty freaking awesome. He's probably gonna be one of the fan favorites of this volume. I don't think Penny is magnetic. Wasn't that just a magnet and she's made of metal? Yes, that is true, but isn't it also true that not all metals are magnetic? I mean, I may be wrong about that. Maybe there are certain magnets that can pick up any form of metal, but I think that there are metals out there that aren't magnetic. But, like, I didn't mean Penny herself is magnetic. I was meaning it in the sense that she's made out of magnetic materials. Like, the materials she's made out of have magnetic properties. If that makes any sense. I didn't mean to offend you in any way or state anything wrong. I mean, I'm sorry. Why, Jean, you ask? Well, I don't know. Why are we bringing up Jean? Let's continue reading. Maybe it's about Jean's identity, his semblance, or hidden potential. Some people just catch that he has the same kind of sword as the hunter's statue in front of Beacon. And Jean did mention his uncle, or whatever, fought in the war with the same sword he has now. It was his,
My great-great-grandfather used to fight in the war.
Also, Pyrrha graduated from Sanctum, which is in, Mistral. And Cinder's team entered the Vital Tournament as students from Haven, which is in Mistral as well. Coincidence? Not enough? Still, funny enough, almost everyone goes crazy when they met Weiss, but nobody gives a crap about Pyrrha at all. Maybe it's just the creator's mistake, plot twist, or I'm high. Well... I mean, your idea about Cinder's team and Pyrrha coming from the same kingdom is sound, but as for the other bits of the comment, I'm not exactly sure where you're coming from with those. So, it may just be me having bad memory, but I'm not entirely sure what you mean by the rest of the comment there. Remember when Cinder said add her to the list? She's not a baddie. It's gonna be Neo. It's gotta be Neo. Okay, so, yes, back in Volume 2, when Mercury was scoping out Pyrrha's powers, later on during his talk with Cinder, she did state add her to the list. Now, whether this be a hit list, a list of possible enemies, or a list of people that they should take care of first is kind of up in the air, but we do know Pyrrha is on some form of list, and if she was part of the baddie team, Cinder wouldn't have had any trouble with her during that time. So, whether or not it was Pyrrha who was going up to Ozpin's office, or if it was Neo disguised as Pyrrha, Pyrrha isn't bad. Why did she smile like that? I didn't get the Flint Cole reference at first, and just assumed he was Nat King Cole. Yes, I apologize about that. I didn't realize that until after the video was up, that Flint Cole, Nat King Cole, oh my gosh, his inspiration is Nat King Cole, because it's right there in the name. It's just Flint Cole fit rather well. Flint Cole was a character created by the Achievement Hunter guys, and am I the only one that picked up that Penny's model number was M374? No. Is that a reference to something else, or are you just stating that the model number is very high? Because, to be honest, I'm not sure if it's either or, so, leave comments down below to tell me what you guys think. I almost wonder if Ozpin will ask Pyrrha to be the Guardian, and she refuses. We already know she hates being on a pedestal. What if this is just too much for her? Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I mean, her being the protector of the world, stuff like that, may be almost too much for her at this time. And she may flat out refuse to be the Guardian, because, as we know, Guardians must choose themselves. Ozpin can only pick a candidate that may fit the bill. So, that would be a really cool plot twist. I was sure you were going to do Have you chose your guardian yet?
John Cena!
No. Guys, the time for John Cena jokes will come. It will come. Hail Hydra, anyone? Hail Hydra! This is a disappointing / rage-worthy, Jake. Penny obviously uses wires to move the swords. It has been seen every time she uses her swords. Yes, and if I didn't make that clear that I knew that she had wires connected to her swords, I apologize. But yes, the wires are connected to her swords, but that doesn't change the fact that she uses them in a way that they still hang up in the air when they shouldn't, and she was still able to lift up rocks with, like, okay, so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you a visual aid. Okay, so rocks are here, Penny's here. She lifts it up like this, okay? It goes up. But there's nothing up here to warrant her pulling it up. She's just going meh, and they're going meh. And the wires are just connected like this. That shouldn't be possible. That doesn't physics. That doesn't physics. So electromagnetic field changing, physics. Physics! Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for this feedback video. I hope that you guys enjoyed, and I hope that I answered a couple of questions that you guys had. Oh wait, you had one more question, didn't you? A lot of you guys wondered, hey, there's somebody in the background during the review. And he's like, who is that? Well, pardon me that my parents want to come by when they see that I'm here and see if I'm doing alright. You know, oh, we just came back from wherever. And I know I should probably get a curtain over that, but I'm lazy and I have to do these videos like twice a week. So, I just hope that that answered some questions for you. That answered that question at least. So with the end of this video, I want you guys to leave comments down below on like how you think I did answering these questions. Any crackpot theories you have, leave them down there also. And like, favorite if you've enjoyed, subscribe of course if you feel inclined to. I'll see you guys next time I'm out there in YouTube land. Be a good person, tip your waitresses, keep moving forward. I'll see you next time. Yeah.